What's up, everybody? Gen V Season 2 is here, and we've got 3 episodes to get the season going. Let's dive in. The new season opened up with a flashback to 1967, and we see what seems to be one of the first versions of Compound V, the drug that turns humans into soups, in the universe, being tested. It goes terribly wrong, and it's Godolkin, founder of God U, that pays the price along with his colleagues, or at least so it seems. In the present, the new dean at God U, Cypher, is pushing Homelander's propaganda about the events of both Gen V Season 1 and The Boys Season 4. Cade and Sam, the new Guardians, are by his side for that, while the true Guardians are being kept at the Elmira facility that Cypher just so happened to work at while they were there. But Jordan and Emma are actually sent back to school, where they're greeted by Kate, who claims to have gotten them out. It doesn't matter what she says, though, it never will again with this group, because Andre didn't make it out of the facility. He overloaded his powers, knowing about he and his father's condition, where they would stroke out if they use their powers too much, trying to get Jordan and Emma out of Elmira after Maria escaped earlier. Then Emma mentions that Cypher, the new dean, spent some time at the Vought Mexico City office, and that's a quick line, but it's important setup for the wider universe. If you don't remember, or if you never saw the news, it was announced a while back that they're making another spin-off for The Boys called The Boys Mexico, so keep an eye out for more teases about that show with the new dean throughout this season. Speaking of quick lines that hit hard, I'm pretty sure Cypher's "You Got Smoked by the Garfield Movie" jab at Kate's in-universe movie from Vought was actually a shot at Furiosa. That came out the same weekend as the Garfield movie in 2024, and Maddie Phillips, the actress who plays Kate, does kind of resemble Anya Taylor-Joy just a bit, but like I said, I might be wrong here. Regardless, we catch up with Marie, who's on the run and still dead set on finding her sister. She gets some help, not with her sister, but getting some food from a guy in a shop, and that ultimately blows her cover. She returns the favor, saving him with lethal force from a couple of Homelander fanatics, and her powers are just so damn cool. Then Emma goes to tell Andre's dad about what happened at Elmira, but he already knows, and it shattered him completely. As much as they beefed last season, and as much as I criticize all the parents of Soups in this universe, this guilt proves that he was a great dad at the end of the day. He can barely live with himself for feeding Andre to the Vought machine. But when she's back on campus, Emma motherfucks Sam's new girl at a party, the chick who exposed her purging freshman year. She doesn't stop there, though. She breaks Sam too. He didn't know that Andre was dead, and now Kate's just doing the same thing she did to his brother, which, as we found out immediately in Season 1, works until it doesn't. That also gave us another angle on Emma's powers, one that we saw towards the end of Season 1, as her emotions can, in certain situations, kick her powers into gear. But now it's kind of, set in stone, I guess I'd say, that the emotion, positive or negative, has to be 110% genuine, and that's fascinating to me. Shifting back to Marie, Dognot, who feels like a pretty funny play on Dog the Bounty Hunter here in the show. He, of course, existed in the comics before, but in the show it does feel like that's what they're playing on, is tracking her down after she mopped the floor with the Homelander guys. That's what brings Starlight into the world of Gen V, as she saves the day and asks Marie to be a hero for her one more time. But maybe the most important part of this premiere, all 3 episodes, was that they did a great job honoring Chance Perdomo's importance to Season 1, and also just Andre's importance to the story and to God U. I expected that this would be the route that they took here, that he inspires the crew, brings everybody together, and I'm glad they're doing it the right way. Then the first episode closes as Kate follows Jordan and Emma to bring Marie back to the university, but she immediately goes into Marie's mind, and despite if her intentions are good or not, trying to protect her old friends as she says, she's got a terrible, terrible way about doing things. She oversteps here, and Jordan puts her in her place, just like Marie did when she tried controlling Jordan in the Season 1 finale, and Jordan, she maybe puts her a bit too far into her place as she's out cold. That was an incredible return for the show. The story clicked right away for me, but more importantly, as I just mentioned, they were able to properly honor Chance Perdomo after he passed away in 2024. He was such a core part of the first season, and so keeping it that way, even though he's gone now, is just the perfect way to go about things, in my opinion. Moving on to episode 2, there's a serious rift between Jordan and Marie after she escaped Elmira without everybody else. Andre being gone, obviously makes that worse, and they're all looking for something or someone to direct their pain to, but they're sticking together for now. Marie is playing ball, even with Cypher, who is there at Elmira working on everybody. We saw Firecracker brought into the fold this week too, being her usual yappy self. A tragedy occurred. Oh, there's Firecracker spewing nonsense. She's a great character because she's the worst type of person, someone who you know what they're going to say about anything, and I mean anything, before they even think it. I can't stand them. She's covering the attack on Kate, who shockingly survived getting annihilated by Jordan, and we find out she doesn't even have to vocalize her commands anymore. She just grabs this nurse in the hospital and basically possesses her without even speaking, but her powers are also on the fritz as we see the nurse get Kate's bloody eye too, which has never happened before. Then Jordan and Marie are sent to combat training. They call it superhero orientation or something like that. I'm not quite sure exactly what the name of the class was, but the point is they've got to get past Vicar, and I really only bring this up because, well, actually two reasons, I guess. One, Vicar reminds me so much of Carl Urban's Scourge from Thor Ragnarok, which I thought was funny just because you've got Carl Urban as Billy Butcher on the other side of things, but Marie has tapped into more of her powers here and can control how much blood that the heart is pumping in and out. They gain another ally in this episode too, with Andre's dad, Polarity, joining the fight and taking a job at God U. He's a man hell-bent on revenge, not just for Cypher and the university, but for Vought and the Seven too. So the student becomes the teacher for a moment, literally, as Emma inspires him to narrow his focus. Andre continues to bring everyone together here as Marie and Jordan patch things up, remembering the good times with their fallen brother. It's yet another great moment honoring Chance and making sure what they're doing with this season lives up to what he brought to the show in season 1. It just feels very real, much like the grieving in Wakanda Forever did, because this cast, they genuinely lost someone. But Emma and his dad are quick to get digging here, and they're going straight for the source, Thomas Godolkin. The show gets back to its antics a bit with this too, as Emma is tripping balls and fangirling over the biggest doofus of a soup in this universe. One of them, I should say. There's quite a few of them, but also my new headcanon here, after they find the secret room with the KKK garb and the swastika flag, is that the old dude from Family Guy, not Herbert the pervert, but Herbert the pervert's arch nemesis, is actually Thomas Godolkin. Then Sam figures out that Emma was involved in what happened to Kate, and that's basically a chemical spill. Despite the cracks being there, he still hasn't broken Kate's brainwashing, and Emma gets yet another chance to put Sam down the same way he did to her when she figured out that she can shrink and grow from her emotions. This episode sends us into the third and final episode of the premiere with the discovery that Marie is Project Odessa. That's why Cypher was urging Kate to find her, and this is where I started thinking his true name is actually Godolkin. It's clear here that he's involved deeply with Marie, but we'll get into that and everything else in episode 3 because both of those things, well, the being involved with Marie is absolutely confirmed, and the Godolkin part, it's all but confirmed. That was another strong episode, though. I'm really enjoying the struggles the Guardians are being faced with early in the season, and the mysterious nature of Odessa and our new Dean Cypher has been rather fascinating so far. I feel like a member of the Mystery Incorporated crew, the way I'm itching for the truth. But that brings us to episode 3, and I gotta get this stupid theory, this stupid prediction out of the way first here. This annoying bee chick is 100%, no, 1000% gonna be used for some nasty ass death later on in this season. She mentions that stinger every goddamn 30 seconds, and at this point, I expect nothing less from the insane minds of these creators. In all seriousness, Sam's seeing puppets again, not that he ever stopped, as the cracks in his mind get bigger and bigger. In fact, he finds himself in a puppet world for a second here in this episode, closing in on the same treacherous territory that ended his brother's life, and Kate, she's right behind it yet again. Then I want to briefly touch on the Dean position overall in this show because I mentioned in my recap of season 1 that it kind of feels like a Hydra situation, and it's become one of my favorite parts of this show's commentary. Both Shetty last season and Cypher this season have had plans that clash with Homelanders despite pretending to be on the same side. Godolkin is the boys' Washington, D.C., it's a swamp. Getting back to Sam, though, he's crashing out as the cracks are going quick and Kate can't help anymore with her powers on the fritz. Jordan meets the wrath of this, but they inevitably bond over their pain, some of which is very much shared pain. It's funny how that works. They were on polar opposite ends of the spectrum, they were enemies recently, and still there's a shared pain to be had. Then we got some answers about Marie being Odessa. She was conceived in a fertility clinic at Gaju, and of course, the university did it. All expenses paid, and everything is so clear now. It kind of makes me sympathize with her parents a bit in the same sense of Andre's, where, they messed up, but they're not evil. I would call Starlight's mom evil. It was also revealed that Cypher used to be Dr. Gold, and he was there when Marie was born. But she found some clarity on that trip too, some clarity that was rather unexpected. It turns out her aunt got her sister after all and kept it from Marie for years. That all but wiped away all the good faith the two had just rebuilt, each of them trying to be more open with the other, and it's just ruined in seconds. The three-part finale wraps up with Jordan replacing Kate and jumping Sam to be number one in the ranks at God U, which was all they wanted before the chaos of season 1. First, I love the creators making fun of all the influencers who are bought and paid for to read scripts like it's their truth, their opinion. That was great, but more importantly, she spills the truth about Elmira, Andre, and what happened to Kate. That was one hell of a premiere for Gen V Season 2. This show and the boys are basically D-Wade to Bron. This universe is just incredible. But once again, I can't say it enough. The way they honored Chance Perdomo has just been outstanding. I love that Andre is still a core element of the show. And so that's going to do it for my breakdown of the first 3 episodes from Gen V Season 2. I thought it was an even stronger start than the first season, so let's see if they can keep that going. That would be awesome. But let me know what you thought of the premiere down in the comments below and make sure you have a great day.